Update. Am I wrong for divorcing my ex-wife over the kids and now refusing to be part of her son's life? Original post. I want to preface this by saying that I have no intentions of getting back with my ex, and I'm in a very happy relationship with my now fiancé. And I'm sorry that this is long. I just wanted to add all the context in, and I'm not the best with words. I, 46 male, married my ex-wife, 45 female, when we were 26 and 25 respectively. At that time, we were both on the fence about having kids. I knew since college that I wanted to retire early, and my dream of having financial freedom was what really made me realize that kids didn't fit into the life that I wanted. I was trying to find the right time to talk with her about it, but over the next few weeks, she started dropping hints that she wanted kids. She started showing me photos of her friends' kids, commenting on her nieces and nephews, joking about her being pregnant and getting pregnant. That one freaked me out, and even bought me a book on the joys of fatherhood that she thought I'd find interesting. I sat her down and asked her if she wanted kids, and she admitted that over the years that she had grown to want a family. We had a conversation about it, and I realized that neither one of us was going to change our minds. I didn't want to keep her from what she wanted in life, so I brought up divorce. She really didn't want to divorce and kept trying to get me to want to have kids, but I stuck to what I wanted and we ended up separating. I obviously still loved her, but that's why I wanted to divorce. We are still young and she could find someone to have the family that she wants with. I didn't want her to resent me for forcing my life choices onto her. Even after I filed for divorce, she still didn't agree with me and dragged it out as long as she could. So the divorce took almost 2 years. I dated over the years, but never really found someone that I could see myself sharing the rest of my life with until I met my now fiancé 4 years ago. Apparently, my ex-wife struggled with dating as well and hasn't remarried yet. She has a son, but the kid's dad isn't in the picture. She recently reached out to me and asked if we could meet to catch up. I talked to my fiancé about it, and she thought it'd be a great way to clear up my bad blood between us, so I agreed to meet with her over coffee. Things seemed to be going well until she brought up her son. She asked me if I was willing to be part of his life as a masculine influence, and I told her I was glad that she was able to have a child, but that it still wasn't something that I was interested in. She tried to change my mind by saying that we could be a family again. She kept trying to convince me, and I kept trying to change the subject. I admit I got frustrated because things weren't going as I'd hoped that they would. And I told her that I was happy with my fiancé and that I was not interested in her. She started to insult my fiancé, and so I left. I thought what happened was crazy. When I agreed to meet with her, it never even occurred to me that she might want to get back together considering how long it's been and I'm not single. She kept messaging me, so I blocked her and I don't plan on talking with her again. I was talking with my sister and her husband about it, and they said that while I'm totally right for rejecting her now, that it was an a-hole move on my part to divorce her in the first place, and that I was now being an a-hole again by not being a part of the kids' life. They both agreed that my ex was right for wanting to work it out. They said it's my fault that her child doesn't have a father, and that if I had given having kids a chance, I would have changed my mind. I just don't agree that kids are something one should compromise on. I just don't see how it's possible for it to not be a bad situation for everyone involved that breeds resentment. I don't know my ex's child at all, and I don't agree that it's my responsibility to step up just because his bio dad didn't. I asked some other friends and family, and they agreed with my sister, so now I'm not sure if what I did was wrong or not, and I was just wrongly justifying it to myself. TLDR, I divorced my wife after we fell on different sides of the child-free fence. I'm currently engaged, but my ex reached out and wanted to meet up so that she could apologize for how she treated me during and after the divorce. She instead tried to get me to agree to being a masculine influence in her kids' life, but I declined. My sister and brother-in-law think that I'm wrong for refusing to be part of the kids' life and that I was also wrong for divorcing my ex in the first place. My mom and some other family and friends agree with my sister. They are altogether wrong in my opinion. You are the one that's right. It is not your responsibility. You're not the bio dad, and that is the bottom line. Now for the comments before reading the update. This person says, not wrong. You did the right thing in divorcing her over having very different expectations for your lives. If you divorced her over not wanting kids, I can't understand why she would think that you would want to or be willing to fill a fatherly type role with the kid she did end up having with someone else. Your sister and brother-in-law are nuts. Kids are not something to compromise on. They are a 2 yes, 1 no situation. OP says, she used my social media posts of me with mine and my fiance's nieces and nephews as proof that I wasn't against kids. That's crazy. I like kids, I just don't want any of my own. She thought that I had changed my mind about kids because of the post and said I was being a hypocrite by refusing to be in her son's life the way that I was in my nieces and nephews' lives. Oh my goodness. What they are arguing is that if I hadn't divorced my ex-wife, she could have convinced me to have kids and then her kids would have a father figure. I was the one who pushed for divorce and broke our potential family. This person says, upcoming gross and sensitive alert. Turn away if you are sensitive. Hopefully there is zero chance you knocked her up. Could she have turkey basted from a spent condom or something? Oh, gross. Have a lovely remarriage and treat your fiance like she is the only love for you. That little teat meeting up with your ex did cast a shadow in her mind. Help that shadow dissipate for good. Yes, low contact with the others forever. OP. We divorced 16 years ago and her son is 11, so no way possible that he could be mine. Thank you for your concern, but my fiance is fine. No shadow was created. We are both very secure in our relationship, and she was the one who encouraged me to meet with her so she could apologize to me for how she lied and talked shit about me, even though that's not what ended up happening. My intentions were clear and never changed. I'm about 98% sure about who the kid's father is, and if I'm right, then I don't really blame him. I obviously feel bad for the kid, but he was, in my book, still a kid as well. The guy I think is the father is currently about 30, I think, but he was a recent high school graduate when my ex got pregnant. My ex and him got engaged. He moved away very suddenly and nobody could get a hold of him. Then it came out that my ex was pregnant. He was in a trade apprenticeship program before he left, but I don't know where he is or how he's doing now. Now for the update. So some things have happened. My ex-wife somehow got a hold of my fiance's phone number. She contacted her yesterday and made false accusations that I cheated on her when we met up for coffee. Obviously, my fiance didn't believe her and just blocked her number. This morning, my sister showed up uninvited to my fiance's house with her kids demanding to talk. We don't live together, and I was not there. My fiance originally wasn't going to let them in, but my sister sat on her porch and refused to leave. It was cold and windy, and the kids didn't have coats on, and since it's not the kids' fault, she ended up giving in. She put on a show for the kids and made some coffee to prepare herself for whatever shit my sister was going to say. My sister started a whole spiel about how if she, my fiance, really cared about me and not just my money, then she would do what's best for me and leave. My sister claimed that since I'll always be connected to my ex, that I will be forever unhappy if I'm with anyone else. Apparently, if my fiance doesn't leave me, it's proof that she's only with me for my money, and that it's obvious that my ex and our child, which, what the F, is not my child, would actually use the money in a godly way. My fiance laughed in my sister's face and just stared at her until she left. My fiance and I are both a little confused by what she said. 1, I am better off financially than my fiance, but not by that much. 2, I'm also not religious, so even if I did get back with my ex, me and my money would still not be godly. 3, we know she's crazy, but again, why did she think her plan would do anything? After my sister left, my fiance called me and told me what happened. I called my sister to tell her, 1, to leave my fiance alone, and 2, that she was crazy and delusional. She defended herself by saying that she knew what was best for me and was just protecting me from going through with the wedding since my fiance was obviously taking advantage of me, and that since I'm under her spell, I can't protect myself. I again told her that she was crazy and delusional, and told her that I never wanted to hear from her or anyone who's siding with my ex again, and to please pass that message on. Every time a family member or a friend messages me about it, which has been 6 just this morning, I ask them what their thoughts are on the matter, and if they side with my ex or sister, I block them. TLDR, my ex somehow got my fiance's number and tried to convince her that I cheated on her. My fiance blocked my ex. My sister showed up this morning at my fiance's house demanding to talk and basically told my fiance that if she didn't break up with me, it was proof that she didn't actually love me and was just using me for my money. Her reasoning was that since I'm still connected to my ex, I will be unhappy with anyone who is not my ex. And if my fiance cared about me, she would leave me so I could be with my ex. I confronted my sister and ended up deciding to go no contact with her and anyone who agrees with her. Story 2. I, 18 female, feel like my boyfriend, 19 male, is always finding what is wrong with me and how I'm not very smart. And he says he's sorry, but he keeps doing it. How do I get him to understand that it actually hurts me? My boyfriend and I have been together for nearly a year now. We met because we go to the same college, but I am from Europe. I am on a scholarship for a sport, which I'm very grateful for. While the university is very affordable back home, this gives me a new experience and more of a chance in my sport. I'm not the most intelligent. I'm not stupid, but compared to others around me, I'm a bit inferior. I try my best, but no one would ever call me smart. I'm just average, which does make me feel guilty because I know how hard some of the people around me have to work to be able to get here, and I just got here because I have natural talent at a sport, and that's it. My boyfriend brought up recently, I had a small injury, just a tweak, and I had ice on it. He asked me what I would do if I couldn't play anymore. I said I wasn't sure and that I'd either try to stay in America or go back home and study instead. But I hadn't really thought too much about it. He asked how I would stay in America. I said I didn't know, maybe I would pay to study instead. I wasn't sure. He laughed and said that it was a bit ridiculous. I asked him what he meant, and he said that it was so ridiculous that a foreigner who wasn't even intelligent could just pay her way in, while people like him had to work hard every day to even finish their degree. I said I knew, but asked if he could not mention my intelligence in the future because it hurts my feelings and that I know that I'm not very smart. He said it wasn't that big of a deal and that he isn't trying to insult me, just saying the truth. I got a bit upset and said that it sounded a lot like an insult to me and that I don't want him deflecting that. He said he was sorry and I let it go. But then something similar to that happened when I was with him and his family. They were asking me about what back home is like, and they are religious, so they were also asking about my church. I am not the same religion as them. I go to the national church of my country. They were asking me about it, and I was really enthusiastic because I really like my church. I love the people there, I love God, and I just love everything about it. My boyfriend then pulled me aside and told me that it was a bad look to be going on about my country, and I should be able to acclimatize it a little and not be going about my weird pagan church. We're definitely not pagan, we're a type of Christian, and they were asking me about it. I felt it would not be rude to answer their questions. I tried to say that I wasn't meaning to do anything, but he got mad and said that it sounds stupid, and that I sound stupid too. My gosh, just dump him. Apparently my accent is so strong I sound idiotic, and that I'm dressing like a whore, and that I should be making a good impression, but I just look like a slutty foreigner. I definitely wasn't dressing badly, and I was completely covered. My shirt was a little fitted, but it wasn't bad at all. I feel like he doesn't understand how much he hurts me. He says he's sorry, but he keeps doing it, and it's making me feel like he doesn't mean it. My parents have started saying I don't sound very happy, and I feel like he might be partially the reason, but I'm very confused. He loves me, but he also says those things, and I'm not sure that you would say something like that to someone that you love. Definitely not. He needs to respect you, or else you just need to move on. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.